episode with the COVID-19. Now I look at that, it was like going through a war, right? And anytime you got individuals that went to war and come back out into society to go back out to nation, they need to be debriefed. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Being debriefed. Okay, this war here was a psychological as well as physical and mental warfare. This is it is still in place right now, which is a lot of the reason why people in general is running around on the levels of mental health on a deeper level than it was before COVID-19 became in place. I'm trying to hit home in the area in which seeing all the dogs come up there with the great ideas that they have fundraising, we should have no problem with that on a bigger scheme of things, right? Right now, of course, we're going to need our own places to operate as we do with different classes and things of that nature. And so, but what's mostly important is that we got to forward, right? And this is a great area, right? And the reason why it's a great area is we're Bible students. We're not a religion, right? So when you start dealing with sciences like the 501c3, right? That's like a preacher being able to, build a building on land that's in distress. And they can take the 501c3 because they have it organized the way that they need to have it organized. And go under that guise and always understand this bill because this is where we're at. So you got LLC, right? You got the corporations, It's understanding how, as a nation, you start to have different forums on Zoom calls and stuff. I wasn't so much into that, but lately I was getting into that.
Please give me from.
Communications with each other to let each other know what we're thinking and what we're trying to do as a nation, right? So ultimately, basically, we all like on the same page with that. We just probably got different ways of how we going about doing whatever, and that's okay. This is the very wants to bring that so we can fine-tune all of what our ideas is. Fine-tune it so that we can get the clearest picture that we need in order to be successful in all our goals. Okay, y'all? And so this is what's happening right now, right? The building, yeah, we came for the building, but the building before the building is this building that we all came together. This is the ideas flew out there about the prefab, about the building, all the other which how many dogs came, and many other brothers with different ways. Dog got there and spoke about it every day, and this building is the urban law, and that's true. So what we want to do is start something tonight, something in us that we have a lot of, especially the young, come up and be business owners. To be more active in administrative on levels where I want to go around the world and see people that are not in the private sector doing things in the world of business and what have you better than we do. And that's a problem. That gotta stop. So, like I said, it's about the building, but before we get to the physical aspect of that, it's how are we building with each other in order for the building that we're visions of to come into fruition. You understand, God? So this is what it's about. Us being the main person, I went a lot of years, I don't like a lot of motherfuckers. You understand? I don't want to talk to you. You don't like me, I don't like you. But, right, that's how we live. And we've been counting that. And to be very perfectly honest, and you know that that's very toxic behavior for a nation, especially when Jews, Mexicans, and all type of other entity of people that just got here yesterday, and today they see me from the supermarket. You understand what I'm saying? So how do they do that? What do they got?
She was down south, right?
Because they don't have it, we claim that is the greatest and only universal flag, you know, right? What do they got that we don't got that we still in the situation that we're in? And why are we bickering so much amongst each other? So I had to ask myself this question. I had to figure these things out. Even for me to stop doing jail days, I know a lot of jail days. So I'm not afraid to say that before. I'm free from that. I've been on drugs. I freed myself, liberated myself from all of what can be in a situation where I can get to the next level of seeing what I need to see while I'm alive, while I'm born alive. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not waiting to see no heaven when I die. I want to see my heaven and my milk and honey and my pearly gates right here, while I'm living on planet Earth. You understand? And that's who we are. We don't teach about no spookism. That's not what we do. So, you know, every bill that happened here today is so good. You know what's happening. Yeah, but it's just good to be a part of and see families sincerely, you know, trying to come together and do something for the generation behind us. Because that's what we gotta think about, you know. And that was my thing when I went to my brother Beloved. I know he came in whatever, but Beloved he's overqualified. That's why he gets so much. Like when we went to a job, they told you overqualified. Right, y'all, you understand what I'm saying? So, listen, I love y'all, I know it's more people on this, you know, laws and all that, which I don't like getting, but in the name of getting, you know, the word out as to our building and the infrastructure of our building, how we have to, which I mentioned the last part, be more structured. Like the brothers come up and don't just, and this is not to say nothing against me, right? And we never been like that. But from the day, Allah and His privacy was a certain way. Most of all of us that they had in the early phase, Allah said He had to say it was over. There wasn't a whole bunch of motherfuckers getting up talking about nothing. But just be about His privacy and do what Allah instructed them. So it's the ass privacy. So if you needed them, they call out for them, they show up, and He gives them the details that they need to do. He told us that there's no big eyes, no views. And that's why we got a lot of what we have now. Because like, you ain't bigger than this, you ain't this, you ain't that. But we gotta have protocol, guys. We gotta have protocol so that we can structure ourselves. It's not too late. A lot of us left here doing that whole thing. Left here on pretty much somewhat of the same situation that we're dealing with right now, but the ones like myself, brothers in my age group, and under me, we're the most qualified to get Allah's vision and His will out there. So we must have these wills, we must respect the other individuals to be unruly, if they're not in accordance with the peace factor that we have to remove it, or they have to remove this out. No, I can go on. I'm really got a lot of stuff I'm going to touch on, but I want to give the rest of the brothers that's with me the opportunity to build on what they need to build on, and you know, today with that. All right, God, peace. Hold on for a second. Come on. Let's go through this part of this family.
It's gonna be a long day.
You're not trying to jump over anyone else. First off, tomorrow, Mass. All right? And a lot has been said about some work that we're doing.
This Messiah door, right?
About our integrity,
Yeah, I got it.
you know, and our mindset about moving forward with this. And let's be clear. We are not against any building that's B-Y-L-D-I-N-G that is going on in wherever in relation to building this up. Not talking about a structure, we're talking about building going on. So that means the classwork, the rating of leads, the educational, all of that stuff. We are in favor of that. And I'm talking about the 5 brothers that was mentioned in our national paper. Yep. Right? So, I want to speak about, as I said, the architecture. So let's start off with that. As our student said, there's an update by my brothers about what we're doing. I want to update that a little more and also speak to the mindset that we have. Because a lot of us came from a lot of different places and have put in significant time to building this up. Much respect to that. Though that same level of respect should be spoken upon the brothers that came together with a common idea to help. Not to take credit, not to get a paycheck, not to get notoriety with any type of publication or any sort, whether it be electronic or, old school. Don't make a difference. That wasn't the reason for coming together. And I want that to be, clear, kind of, sound. What's that, 1,120 feet per second? Build or destroy? Yeah. 1,120 feet per second. That's what it is. How you doing? So in that, I want that sound to resonate about what I'm saying. All right? The wisdom, let the wisdom be born. And let's deal with that first. Wise ways and actions. So us coming together like that is rooted in the knowledge of Allah. Not in the companies, not in, corporations, not in rent, not in gas, bill, none of that stuff. Because what's the core foundation that brought us together? Education, young, community change. We all have that in common, no matter where we came from. And that's the commonality. So that's our focus. Anything that we dealing with concerning those guys that have come together to be about fact finding. Again, let it resonate. Fact finding, meaning getting the information, meaning going back to the root of how things need to be done. Because we all knew that our national showpiece could improve structure. And I don't mean the actual structure about, we've had the experts, we've had this, we talked about all that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just how it looked. All right? That it could improve. And if we were going from a real estate model, we're not comparable to our neighbors. Because people have, even though we was in the neighborhood before a lot of them that have bought up and all that, people have made investments and so forth, so stuff is going on. All black money ain't our house. All right, there's still plenty of black money in house, in there. It ain't all 55, but it's a lot. The point is, we're not up to speed with it. So, can we do anything about it? And that was the mindset. Not to eliminate, to say, oh, no, this people or this person doesn't have a say, or this doesn't matter in relation to that. That was never the thought process. Because we know the unenlightened man, that came out of an idea. So we deal with the idea of the A-like man. All right? That's a 1A, the knowledge of Allah. So that's our root. That's the core values of the people that's involved. And there is no leader there. We allow best Noah to lead. So if we deal with a particular subject matter, if one is qualified to speak on that, then we're going to speak on that. And then we're going to deal with our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of life and of things to say, well, wait a minute. How that relates back to the young? How that relates back to education? How that relates back to community change? If none of those things are included, that's not a subject that we're dealing with. And again, I want this to resonate because we want to end the conversations about the integrity of the people that's involved in bringing information about how to get something done. All right? And share it with the nation and allow the nation to say, that's good, let's move forward. Be scared of that, go find out. You know, not in a negative way, but like, you live. Wait a minute, because like it was mentioned, oh, well, if we don't pay a note, then somebody taking something. You understand? So, you don't want to set up a system where you're vulnerable in that way. That's where the best knowers come in. That's where the mathematics come in the way that we do something. So if the foundation is set properly, and clearly it has been, I mean, this is the beginning of my 49th year. And I've been here regularly. When some of y'all that's determined was not. And some of y'all preceded me, and some of y'all came when I came. Yet we know what it was. And it's not a call on judgment. No, it's a call on reality in terms of your journey and how you have qualified yourself or disqualified yourself. Therefore, the conversation and the bill is about how we have qualified ourselves to be able to come together and say, listen, we want to add on this without accolade, who gonna say this, and we, none of that. Genuine sincerity, divine love, because we know that it's based upon the mind of Allah, and that we married into that, and that we are willing to take that responsibility that comes with that, as much as given, much as required. So therefore, we said, well, let's see what we can do. Well, we don't own this, meaning the thought of mind is saying, well, all right, brothers stand this, brothers stand that, without talking to people. And we've been doing that consistently. And some agreed, some disagreed, and we was able to draw it up so that there was a clear understanding. That's why I said in the very beginning, we're not against anyone. So, to say all of that, I don't know if it's been said, because I had to step out a moment from the statement of what has been said. What we learned is that we need to gain full ownership. And I know a lot of things have been said about it, but let's just take it from this. Maker owners. So, own your car, own your house, own your clothes, own your food, own your shelter. All right, that kind of goes along together. And all of us are in different places in our life on the same where we're able to do that or not. Some might have to get credit together so they can get a mortgage. You know, some may have to do cooperative buying for the food or clothes, whatever. But it's a system that you might have to follow in order to get the things that are needed. And what was mentioned is that because I'm going to tell you, I came through the time, right, when people was boo about the gods and that we wasn't nothing good. All right? And that they're crazy, this and that, and people scared to even say that out their mouth about being God and stuff like that. Some of y'all may not experience that because of the neighborhood that you're from. And since you was a little boy, you didn't be able to talk about it, or a little girl. But that ain't like that ain't everywhere on the planet. And that ain't even some of the neighborhoods that y'all is from, because someone had to trailblaze that. responsibility, we wasn't gonna jump
I seen the people.
and not be inclusive, meaning that people that need to know, know. And like they say, if you don't know, then you better ask somebody. And guess what? We got answers. Because we went and did our research. We have qualified ourselves, various brothers in worlds where people is willing to talk to them. And I don't know if everyone understands it, but I would say so because the audience is all mature. You know, the little kids that give up my daughters, you don't mind it right now. However, so anyway, dealing with that, we were able to have certain doors open and had conversations with people. And we wasn't on no train to disappear and somebody not speaking the language. Oh, heck no. We're not moving like that. We checked and we asked the questions. So all that controversy about, oh, they the 17 there, blah, blah, blah. The main thing, what we said is we want the relationship to be new that Allah had with the office downtown. Because we know, hey, they got the paperwork, we did the research. We sent a God that can't be up in front about it because he worked with the city. Okay? But they found out for us. They went to see for the paperwork. We need ownership. So we went about the business of finding out how that needs to be done. Right? Because over time, what's going to happen is that, so if we saying for the generations to come, are we going to leave them with 10 years left on our relationship with that office? And then really someone can come in and say who the what and moving stuff around and what? Well, we're going to wait till that time. I had a red stripe. I don't know if y'all know about a red stripe. That's when you get a red stripe on utility bill, and they're going to cut the bill off because you ain't paid the bill on time. Yes. That's pressure. All right? We don't need to leave our generation coming behind it with that pressure. That the clock is ticking. What are y'all going to do with the building? And then none of us ain't around. We got the ones that was right with the band, still here, to say, wait a minute. Right? Only because of supreme equality. Not because somebody is on some bowing down stuff. You know, and if you are really confident and qualified, what's wrong with being humble? Why is that? I should probably say about wearing something on the sleeve and all that earlier. You already know. You know your capabilities. Right? So we don't have no identity crisis. And so I'm not like this, but I know the flag when I saw it, the moon crested over the 7. I was wondering why they wanted to put the 7 on the moon. And as far as me, it seemed like we've got an identity crisis about that. Exactly. But, you know, we'll talk about that later. At another time. All that time, I was looking at the flag and man was even walking around here, and he ain't changing. Y'all went and did that. I don't rock like that. I'll tell you. You know, because I read the papers and I sat in here when they was giving it. So now I'm qualified to give it because I listen, and then also when I listen, not just to come here and talk about it, then in my own land, everywhere I went, extending this. So therefore, even though I'm from Bass, Region 2, and this is Region 1, and really it's a local issue, but we understand that we are one. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of integrity. We are one. So if Shabu is in need, and even though he's in there in North Carolina, I'm coming. And that's how we're supposed to be. All right? So what that means? The school, again, could use a benefit. Not about the program and stuff and all that kind of stuff, but structurally. We want to do something with that other stuff. They're going to change the tax roll around and all that kind of stuff, and including everything. because we held it down. Ain't no other reason. Because if it was all a chop-up situation and an absentee and all of this there, then them big pockets that came in and influenced people right now and back it up. So our strength, our unity, our perseverance, our determination, while being broke, or people just holding their money, because we got some big money people amongst us. Men, women, all that. Entrepreneurs, good jobs, six-figure jobs, company owners and all that. However, we done had some shady people come amongst us and influence people that they was trustworthy, and now we don't see them no more. So everybody got an issue about, well, what's the money they're trying to do, we ain't touching no money. That five. We not touching no money. So if you hear about donation, the assist in the process, then it's going to the already established entity. But let me give you a little history. Get that? All right. Okay. See? And that's the thing. And it's a prime example. All right? Because y'all know, some y'all, oh, you think you little bit more, whatever. Y'all know that I'll leave before as much as an influence on who I am as Dumo. But black still, so I know what y'all saying. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So, what they've been telling me, you got it. But you can be kind of along with it. So that's why I have to check in with them. You know what I mean? Just like how she said, he had to get rid of some certain stuff. So we beat on him about his temper. Because he be ready to rip people's head off. He's like, whoa, gosh. Let's talk about this. All right, this is where we rolling. You know, and then we got black justice. Like, listen, if it ain't righteous, it ain't right. And it ain't gonna be with it. So y'all better make sure that this is righteous. And then we got the loud. He's gonna make sure that we are presenting in a way that we sound like we got some sense. Because he's a doctor in education. So we got all this going on, and that's why we don't have no leader in that, or there's a big eye. We say, well, we're gonna defer to your knowledge. We're gonna ask questions, because we all agree very well. And they're all established. So, what we learned, like I said, is no paperwork. So, the color man, who say he one of us, and we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? And one time we gonna shop, so we gonna bring somebody who's right there with the man, you understand? When he was there as chief of staff for Lindsay. And then let's see how he say, you know, this how I'm looking at it. Because we checking everybody. Yes.
Do anybody have a blue truck out there? The first three letters is the first letter is W and two's on the 76? W76? All right, thank you.
So no, that's fine. Everyone clear about that? Okay. So, as I said, so we found this piece of information. So to make it, get to the point of where we're going. What we want to do, all right, is put ourselves in a position to be able to become the holder. I heard Mayor Andrews mention, his name mentioned a couple times. We ain't met with him yet. But the chief of staff sent a message to us and said, listen, and that was through our brother again, someone that's in the door. So people comfortable talking. They're not comfortable with all of us. All right? So we got to send the right one. That was that whole thing, y'all at the United Nations, meaning that we send the right one to represent us, or the right ones to represent us. That's what that meant. Airplane ride. That's making you in tune with where the world is going. Look how high tech we are. And that's why we say we want the children involved, meaning the younger people. They might be little kids to us, because some of us in our 60s and 50s. But we talk talking about 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds and teens to serve on the board. Because that would be the board, you understand, that is the same thing of what the Urban League did in the very beginning. That was only for a very short time. But it was required because the man, Mina Allah, he wasn't with that program stuff. He said he didn't have no program. He had the young though. And I seen him talking, and he said, the 5% I speak for. The 5% I speak. So he was the word on that. So we ain't gonna mess with none of that. The Urban League served as a conduit. So a law school method is now our conduit. So you wanna donate to us fixing up and getting things together, whatever funding it is, then send the money there through a Zelle account. And it's tax write-off, because that's a nonprofit organization. Right now, a record. We got people that is high up on the finances. And I'm not going to say the name right now, but they overseeing. They overseeing what's going on. So no, we're not playing. We're not Rudy Poops and no pumps. And we're not playing about putting this together in the way that it needs to be done so that the generations behind us can say, this is what we own. Not something that we had and that we preserved, and that if it really got funny, and people turn to make wars overnight, that something could happen. But if we have the ownership, and then that goes into a trust that is managed by a group, all right, law school of method, then they can't never mess with that like that. So we need to prepare ourselves to be able to get the city council approval, the Harlem council approval, and then it goes to the mayor. And y'all already know, we from Basic Projects and all of that there. They'll ask people that's in the nation to help him. When he was campaigning, people know him personally, photo ops, Buddha, all that. So season, we are in season. So that is why we are not trying to, oh, well, we need to wait and this and that, because it's a season. We got the highest official in the city of New York. We have his ear. We have his ear. So we need to just show up and show out. And who we been? We always been there. Y'all forgot about that? For real. When have we known the real gods not to be, oh, that's them brothers. They ain't messing around. They can fight, they can dance, they get money, they smart in class. They ain't scared of white folks. We always been there. Or y'all added on to something else. All right? I'm just saying what I know, what this is about. All right? And I brought people from other places to the whole New England. You know, but I'm not here to yada yada about what I'm just here because I'm here to add on. So this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. We want to prepare ourselves. This requires steps. Architectural stuff, legal stuff, and none of that ain't free. So yes, that's the business that we are about at this point. And as we move forward in that, and we begin to do other things to show how that building and blocks are being built, we come and we speak to that. So that's why we come in as a group and sing, because every Saturday morning we dealing with technology. We on Zoom call, waking each other up. Wait a minute, we can't see you. Wait, turn the screen on. How you doing today? Please, good morning. All this at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday. What you say? So that's what we do. All right? And that is not against anyone's program here. But we are seeking out. Oh, okay, you want to say license plate?
Anybody that's double parked outside, they got an accessory vehicle that needs to come through, but they they can't get through because people are blocking double park, but especially license plate KXB 7897. These, you know what I'm saying, they block it. But the street is narrow as it is, they double park. You got big field. Okay.
All right. Two more things, but I want to speak a little bit to that right quick as well. All right. And this is about
Bring money.
how my brother Hashim was saying about the building that is required. All right. Some of the stuff here, y'all out of control. All right. So you really check yourselves. And I know we y'all 5%, all that, good. But we hear new. It's right behind the police station. All that illegal parking and all of that where people can't act, they watching everything we doing. It's because the God and our reputation was even before us coming together and allow secret people even in the highest offices of the school department here in New York. All right? And then, all right. Okay, so before that, because the God that goes back to the original 5%, he had a relationship with his school. All right? He's in another world now. You know what I mean? The purpose and all that. He is accessible to us. It has been open his church to memorial services and all of that. So those of y'all that know him, know what I'm talking about. And he has a relationship with the school for years. All right? So the point is, we have to be on our best behavior. So the hanging out outside, the not filling up the trash. And I'm saying this is being done. Just saying some of the things that we have been comfortable with in the past, we cannot do that again. We have to show them our best. Because they watch it, they listen, and we want to show them that we have and never changed from being that positive force within the community of Harlem and everywhere else that we at. All right? So we have to show that. So all of that, you got to remember that. When you come, you know, go ahead and get whatever you're getting on, do that when you get here. Park up the block, whatever, because we don't want them just trying to find something. Because they looking. But they want to mess it up. Even though the principal, her husband, the man used to come here to the Parliament. All right? I don't know the brother's name or whatever, but she knows. Because she said it to the God. You have to ask the lady at 135. When you going to let the guards back in your school? So that's somebody that's comfortable with us. All right? So yes, we must do that. The last thing I want to say, there's too much people coming up here and they fussing and arguing and people coming from, you know, out the security. No. Listen, it's an honor to be up here. An honor. All right? And when you come up here, because many of them came before you, remember that energy that has died, has changed form. So all of that energy is here. And when you come here to speak on the gospel, you're supposed to be drawn on that energy. Because you ain't just supposed to say something right up here. You're supposed to say it right on that. Meaning that you have done your homework, you've done your research, and you are accordant to the mathematics degree of the day and how you live, not just like church. And a lot of us got to get older. The church, they dress up the church. I used to laugh and say, show and prove now they all showing up. Where was they at the other months? We used to laugh about that.
Boy himself. Anybody got a double park car outside? You gotta move your car.
BMW KLP 4305. Black BMW.
Please, no problem. So again, let it resonate. Let it resonate that we must be on our best behavior. But there's 4 cars that came here. Now, I'm not been speaking for a while, but 4 cars. Double park. No, it doesn't. However, the increase of vehicles on this block is us. I'm saying? So we'll include that. It might not be us, but if it's you, all right? That's simple. You know what I mean? But though, as I said, we must be on our best behavior across the board because we knew over here. And we want people to accept us with our good points and our bad points.
Yes,
All right? And it don't, I'm going to school, it don't make a difference. They can have a black wine in the back pocket. I still love this about it. All right? But I don't deny another thing and build myself on. I'm denying another thing, I'm denying myself. That's why I'm not big on the buffer, blow up, disrespect, and all of that kind of stuff. Go to the source, see what it is, and then move on. So, my brother, okay, now I say this. That's good, but I'm from the school like this. When you said what you had to say, you said it, that's it. That's your turn. The extra stuff y'all be doing now, going up, second time, maybe that was because of the pandemic and it was few people speak. I don't know. Yeah. That's not the root of this. God. No, I'm just saying. I'm not going to say about what I've seen. So at this point, I still have a roster. When I say peace, then whoever comes next, they say peace, and then they say what they have to say. That's what I always saw. That's what I saw the example, and all of that other jumping up and speaking twice and 3 times and all that. I didn't grow up on that. I grew up in the parliament. Again, I'm from Mass, but I've been here as a teenager, and I'm 63 years old now. I'm 64 in April. All right? And you look at my face and you're like, whoa, you don't look that. Now we go. And he ain't living like that either. So don't get it twisted. That's because of this teaching. So I'm just saying, in terms of our level of refinement, wherever you put it in your lesson, all of that. Refinement is required. If we need to refine our relationship, especially the roster and all that, BP, and I got this, and that, and all that. That's not what it was. If you don't get it from who said it, then it ain't for you on this day. But that's why the problem, if you get to know your brother and sister, the problem that you may have is going to be solved if you come here and you get to know people, because we got it all here. And with that, I'll say this.
He's still God.
Now, us as a nation, that's right, Tyrese Nation, we deal with the signs of being held accountable for those that's uncivilized. So we out there teaching about black on black crime and violence and stuff like that. Maybe some of this type of stuff wouldn't happen, even though it happened in Memphis. We all from now on and other places know what will go on here. You know? And this is a platform where everybody's going to see that us, the nation of God's earth, the lost Bible say, we recognize this, and we don't agree with it. See? And that's the reason what I want to say. We want to say peace to their family and send out our condolences to the family. And with that, I'm going to say peace.
Hey, before we all leave, right? We saw the presentation that just went down up here, right? When I think about Bill, right, I just feel going wisdom, more knowledge, wisdom, right? I didn't deal with nation business, right? I didn't deal with the project that began when 21 turned into 22. And I'm talking about when 2021 right? But this was the first time I saw the law speak, and he was being interviewed, right? And Gabe Chesley was asking the law questions, trying to direct him in regards to maybe rejecting Mayor Lucey and his administration and the fraud played by passage. Once I saw that video, something told me to say a law school executive, so I set up SOS, and I began building with some of the that was up here, presentations like Beloved, now everybody was invited to Zoom, and from April to December, I just want you to know, if you want to know about the progress that we've made in revitalizing the law school mecca, I can actually send you right there, at the site of Zoom, where you can see the money that we invested in the school, the money that we spent right there in Beloved. I can send you the money that we spent with the structural engineer, D. Simone. I can show you the money that we spent with the surveyor, Legend Up,